So our next speaker is Cathy Farmer. Cathy Farmer is a friend, and I knew her from Kaiser days. But she is an autism advocate, investor. He runs an angel group. So Cathy, please.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone on the call remotely. Hi, everyone in the room. It's an honor to be here, to say the least. Okay. So this is really quick. I'm going to go through, mostly my work is at Cal, but obviously the Autism Angel Group. So, I work with startups, play with startups at Skydeck, which is the large accelerator at Cal, at Launch, which is a business school, Battery AI, which is internationally looking at different AI solutions, but seated at Cal, and then some other work. But as Yuli said, I was at Kaiser a long time, ran KP.org and other systems, and I'm happy to be here. But my big work is around investing and advising startups, focusing on neurodiverse. I keep track of all demographics of the founders, particularly not just solutions for the neurodiverse, but also for the neurodiverse founders. And then I do some teaching, and I sit on a bunch of boards for this space. But my inspiration is Michael. I have two brothers on the spectrum, but Michael was the very first person diagnosed with autism at the Cleveland Clinic. When the doctor said to my mother, "How can you live with this wild animal?" It was a very different world. The interesting thing is I invested in a company, and most of you know about Florio, which does VR therapy. They acquired a company out of the Cleveland Clinic Innovation. So I invested in them, and it's come full circle that now I own a little piece of that. And so I thought that was sort of serendipitous. I have two ADHD sons. So I've lived in chaos a lot. One of six, and I'm the third, and the next two brothers are on the spectrum. So there's a picture here of my co-founder, Dr. Maureen Dunn, and a couple of neurodivergent founders at the Lego, where we had a partnership with them when they had their accelerator. Anyway, so as we know, autism has grown for many different reasons. The spectrum is very different than it was when Michael was diagnosed. It was 1 in 10,000. When we were, everyone said, artistic, your brother's artistic? No, and had to do the whole education. That education doesn't need to happen anymore because it's so prevalent. So yeah, roughly 1 in 26 in California today. We don't really know why, and that's something that I know a lot of people are trying to figure out. But I just want to go back for a second, 60-fold since Michael was diagnosed. There's an interesting article in the New York Times by Dr. Francis. You might want to check out. I put that in the deck on the 23rd of June. So if you have that subscription. There are a lot of great founders, some controversial here, obviously, but who are neurodiverse. And it's that brilliant, unique, different thinking that we at Autism Angels really support. And so this is just an example of a lot of people you may not be aware of. When we consider an investment, we consider the team, the market, the social impact that it has, the uniqueness, the differentiator, and the efficacy, the validation that we heard earlier from the Brain Foundation, how important that is. Here are 6 examples of companies that we've invested in. I mentioned Florio earlier. Some of these do mental health. Some of these do unique support using the voice. And Elbo's a new one that does speech therapy. We like to consider the sustainable goals out of the United Nations. So this is just a highlight of the areas in which fall under our investment thesis that I sort of highlighted here. It's important to think about those. And then this is a little breakdown on a financial pro forma that you can do when you look at the metrics of the impact value and how it turns into dollars. So we do some of that in our analysis of our investments and think about that, the benefits, the true social impact measures. And also for the founders, the investment for the founders is really they need to be providing transparency, have to be accountable. Are they coachable? And they need to understand the relationship between the impact outcomes and the financials. We also want to make sure that they understand the decision-making process in the market that they're seeking to solve. And then understanding all the stakeholders' interests, because sometimes there's conflicting interests. And for the investors as well, it's looking at consistent metrics, showing how we can scale and giving the economic value and the financial returns, but really helping the community. Innovation is really needed, as we heard. It's like, come on now, it's 2025, right? So things to think about for innovation: you need to have access to capital. One of the reasons our Autism Angel Group existed was because there was no angel group. There were angel investors, but no angel group specifically. We started 5 years ago. And access to networks for support is really important when you do innovation. And in particular in autism, needing industry insight, because it's a very unique space and everyone is so unique. So it makes it overly complex and abstract. And then understanding and getting access to support and across ecosystems for investment and innovation. Really, these are things that are really imperative. Yuli asked about current state and what's working. So let me just move me, because I can read that. It doesn't move there. Oh, well, so I moved it here. So anyway, we want to see, we know that the neurodiverse workers are extraordinary. And I listed here Dr. Dunn's book, The Neurodiversity Edge, which cites research showing the value of unique autistic workers in particular. And I can tell you, because I've worked with so many different founders, they're just extraordinary thinkers. And it's like you sit there sometimes and you shake, like, how did you even thought about that? Just such different, unique perspective that we just don't get as neurotypicals. So that's something that's great, but that's something that's getting more out there, that there's great value. And then education. It used to be that there was special ed classrooms, and now they're integrated to some extent. And that's a really good thing. It's a good thing for more empathy. It's a good thing for better outcomes for both the neurodiverse and the neurotypical children. There's more acceptance and awareness. Like I said earlier, people said, oh, your brother's artistic. No, he's autistic. And I love Love on the Spectrum. I'm sure everyone here has watched a piece of it. It is really warm. It's a warm show. The guy, the producer, director, is just done such an amazing job with the storytelling. And it makes people really, I mean, so many people I know who have no relationship to autism are like knocking on my door going, have you seen this? This is so extraordinary. So that's done a really great thing in the last few years. And then there's been a lot of improvements in therapy. A lot more needs to happen, but there's been tremendous improvements. Diet, nutrition, and vitamin supplements. My brother takes supplements all the time, and he's doing quite well. And by the way, he's 63. So there's not an absolute certainty because you're on the spectrum, but I should talk to you about that research, because I remember learning that when I was in a psych class in college. I was like, huh? There's also some really great, good sensory locations for people that were not around my brother, who was very, very low functioning. I know that's not politically correct word, but he was just lower on the spectrum and had high needs. Flapping all the time, screaming, running away, taking his clothes off. That's how I grew up. And so there was no place. It was in the car, stay at home, stay with grandma, go to the aunt's house. And now there's like Spirited Play. There's all these great places. There's the Travel Wiki, which is now you can travel with. I'm traveling Monday to Ireland with my brother. And I'm excited to go to JFK and see what they have to offer for sensory needs for autism. So that's another great thing. That's what's working. Okay, so what's not working? This could have been longer, but I didn't want to be like overweight the pros and the cons in the current state. But there's still delays with diagnosis, and this is a serious problem, especially for the underserved and the rural people. They can't get access. So sometimes there's online access, and that's a good thing, but there's still a wait list, and it's those with money who can skip the line, and this is a problem. This is not fair. there's a lack of quality healthcare that we heard about. I sit on a board called the Institute for Exceptional Care, which their mission is to improve quality care for those with IDD. And 15 minutes medical school. So those of you who are physicians in the room, you had 15 minutes roughly of education on treating the disabled, and that is not enough. And so there's tremendous opportunity there. Autism genetics. Yeah, there are some, but they're quote genes and they're not diagnostic genes. There's a lot of opportunity here. I mean, it's great to see all the autism research. I mean, I've been involved in the Congressional Development Medical Research Autism Program. You know, my father founded the Organization for Autism Research. There's a lot of research, although that's not bio, that's more functional. And we're not organized about it. There's so much opportunity. It's so frustrating. So maybe some change is going to happen there with some of this new data model that they're looking at. This next one is my biggest concern. We fail as a community to have a centralized location for solutions and support. We just fail. There's been many startups that have come to me and have come to others with solutions and nothing has stuck. And it's really frustrating because newly diagnosed families don't know where to turn and they're really struggling. So it aligns with some of what you were saying earlier. And the support costs are more than ever. And with the changes in the bill, they're going to be even worse and more challenges for families who don't have money to be able to afford support. And this is a concern. Okay, so the opportunities for innovation are huge and enormous and wonderful. So given the cuts, okay, so what do we do? This is what it is. What do we do? Well, we need more volunteers then. If you can't get support and you can't afford it, then you got to get creative. So I think of, you know, like Doctors Without Borders or Advocacy Without Borders, if you're familiar with that, some kind of program where we get people who are vetted, who care about the community, people with a lot of needs can help and volunteer. Now, I know this is a high challenge, but I have a lot of faith in some of these new generations coming up and they want to help. Finding autism solutions. You shouldn't have to ChatGPT and all that isn't necessarily going to get you the right stuff. And so we need to have a place where people can put their solutions and it could be somewhat vetted and validated. And I know, again, people have attempted this. I have yet to see it be successful. This is so important. Housing is a big problem. We are blessed. My brother was one of the early ones in Eden's Autism in New Jersey, and he's in a group home and he's been in there for 45 years. He is well supported. One of the guys who works at the group home said to me, Michael's my brother. And as a sister who's the co-guardian, you couldn't ask for something better than that. It's pretty powerful. So we're really fortunate. Many people are not. The wait list in Jersey is over 5,000 to get into a group home. And that's a serious problem. These are people with families that don't have the ability and the financials to support the person who has the needs to be group homes. So this is not just group homes for those with IDD, but also just housing in general. We need to do some uplifting for this community to have access to housing in a supportive sensory environment. So that's important. And then using AI, which has a great technology that's out there now. And we need to work together collectively, I think. And there should be a consortium. And we've tried this a few times and we failed, but I think maybe other people are going to do it and it's going to work. But there's a lot of opportunity and learnings and earnings here in the area of autism and AI. So those are my thoughts, and it's been an honor to talk to you guys. You can reach out to me anytime. And there you go. Thank you.